Love me a good old story time. Hey you guys, welcome back to Traveling with T. So today it's gonna be a little different for me. I've never done one of these, but I felt this was necessary to do because I've been meeting a lot of you in person now, and I've been telling you guys this story and you're like, oh my god, I had no idea all of that happened to you in training. So this doesn't change my views of Envoy. I still think they're an amazing airline. I just felt like at the time, maybe, to be honest, I have no idea what excuse to make for them. I can't critique management. I can't like say anything bad about them because they're still, you know, a part of my airline, a subsidiary, but I'm not sure why this situation was the way it was, but I am happy overall because had this situation not happened, I would have never applied to mainline. So here we go. So it was about week 3 in training. Envoy's training was about 4 weeks, and the class before us, they had just taken their finals, so they were down like celebrating at the hotel bar, and it was really cool. And it's crazy because the person that I'm going to end up having a conflict with in this conversation, she was actually very helpful and had helped me earlier that day, me and my study group earlier that day. So it was really crazy that this happened. So I'd say after we were doing our drills and everything, it was later in the evening, I started to go back up to my room. And as I'm going back up to my room, the same girl that I just referred to, who was very helpful, she started walking towards me, and she's on my floor, and I know her room isn't on my floor, so I was really confused why she was there. And I saw that she was also like in front of my roommate, so she was by our room. So I was like, what's going on? So I started walking, and immediately as she sees me, she's just like, I think, mind you, this was 2017. It's been like 2 years now, so I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth. I'm only remembering what I can remember because I've literally put this to the back of my mind, like I've moved on. But she's like, I think she was like, hey, do you have a YouTube? Or hey, like, are you T or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, to either of those questions because they're both yes. And she just started going off at the mouth, just saying horrible things about me. She had no idea about me. And I remember very, very clearly that she was accusing me of giving out answers to our exams and everything on my YouTube. And she said she was going to report me and I was going to get removed from the program. And you guys know, like in training, they're watching you like a hawk. And the littlest thing, you know, can get you removed because there are so many people who want this job. So they're not gonna hang on to people where they feel like there could potentially be a problem. So immediately I started getting, you know, emotional because I'm just like, I'm literally 1 week away from graduating and I'm about to get removed over false accusations. So immediately my whole class gets involved. Well, majority of them. I think there's probably like 3 or 2 people that were missing. You know, my Envoy class is really small. So I'm crying and everything in the hotel room. My roommates tell me what happened. She actually had barged in and pushed my roommate trying to come into our room. Like, where's that B and all that things, like saying all these curse words. You would think that she actually knew me. Like she actually had a personal problem with me. But yes, once I'm like crying in the room, I'm calling my mom, I'm calling my boyfriend at the time, and I'm crying. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So my mom came up with the best idea, as moms usually do, and she's like, email your director or whomever of training so that they're aware of this before she even has a chance to go to them. I was like, smart thinking, mom. So I go and I send an email, and as I'm typing the email, my classmates are coming and they're coming to check me like, T, are you okay? Are you okay? So one of my classmates was at the bar with her and was like, she's completely wasted. she was drinking so much, and I'm sorry, I'm the one that told her you had a YouTube, but she's never even seen your videos. So at that point, I'm like, I'm stopping crying because I'm just like, what? I'm like, so she just wanted to pick a fight. Like, she's an angry drunk. Ugh. Excuse me. So after I realized what was going on, I'm like, okay, she just wanted to pick a fight. She's like an angry drunk. I'm like, I'm starting to relax. And you guys are probably thinking like, T, you didn't even have that type of footage in your videos anyway, so why are you crying? And just like imagine that, you know, like everything you've ever wanted is like within hand's reach, and someone's threatening to like snatch that away from you, and you're gonna have to start all over. So that's what really made me emotional. It wasn't really her. Like, I've had people call me all types of things. Like, that doesn't affect me because I know who I really am. So I was just really like I just couldn't think straight. So I'm happy I called my mom as usual because she gave me the best advice. So I actually, I still have the email, which is so crazy. I went into my email to find it, and it was really easy to find apparently because I just didn't send emails a lot. So I'm gonna read it to you. So it's like, good evening to my director at the time. I said my name. I was coming up to my room from a group study. I said the girl's name, not gonna say it. So-and-so was there in front of my room door talking to my roommate. She saw me coming down the hallway and asked to speak with me. I said, absolutely. Oh, so that's what happened. See, I'm happy I had this email. She immediately started to verbally attack me, saying she was going to report me to you for my vlog due to its contents. I looked at her confused and asked her if she was sure she had the right person. She was saying things along the lines of, I'm effing disrespectful for releasing the process of how it goes for training because she worked too effing hard to complete the program. I can't confirm she was intoxicated. I was only told that she was by people who were having drinks with her in the lobby. She kept saying things like, I know you use your laptop in class to record the information. I only use my laptop for notes and record things on my camera. I was the picture taker in my class, so I always had my camera taking pictures, which you guys had never even seen because it was for our graduation slideshow. She was calling me a B and other vulgar words since she did not know my name. Oh, so she didn't even know my name. That's ridiculous. Yeah, she didn't even know my name. So I guess scratch that whole pre-thing I told you guys. That's what really went down. And then I also said, P.S. I placed my videos on private on my vlog until this is resolved. If you would like me to show you them, I can come to your office tomorrow and give you my login information. Because at this point, I knew I had absolutely nothing to hide. I'm like, I know the content of my vlogs. I know what I was and wasn't supposed to do, because that's another thing. Like, maybe the first week of training, I spoke directly to my instructors. I'm like, hey, this is the deal. I have a vlog. I'm really new to this, so just tell me things that I absolutely cannot do that can absolutely get me released. And it was clear as day, you know, things that are common sense, like don't talk about the exams and things like that. So if you guys go back to my Envoy vlogs, I'm really vague because of that. And just like I was with American, I don't want to disrupt the integrity of the process because it does a really great job of weeding the people out who aren't there, who can't mentally handle an emergency and who overall can't mentally handle being a flight attendant. So I don't give answers. I don't tell you about exams. I'm just like, do your best, study, you know, just the general things. So after that, I sent the email, and you know, I really couldn't sleep that night. I get stressed really easily. I didn't know how the situation was gonna go down. So the next day, this is the part that really blew me out of the water, and this is the reason I left Envoy. Well, I had planned on leaving Envoy because I didn't have my CJO for mainline yet. This is my like, yeah, I'm not staying here. So the next day, our whole class day was centered around taking people one by one from my class into the office, asking them what they know about this situation. And I felt that was so unnecessary because a whole day of class had gone down the drain. Like, I don't even think we learned anything that day. That whole day we were just going in the office and telling like what they knew. If I didn't know anything, then I didn't know anything. If you were a part of it, then you said something. So when it finally got to me, I had to sit down and watch all my videos with the person that was probably right under my director, and he had absolutely nothing to say. Like, he's just like, okay, none of the accusations she was making are true. The only thing I see wrong is be careful when you're talking about drinking wine and things like that. And I completely understand that. So I was like, okay, thank you so much for that advice, I will. So after completely wasting a class day, she finally gets called in. And I'm not the type of person where I feel like the only punishment that'll make you truly understand what you did is losing your job or anything. But she received absolutely no punishment. And this is why I was really upset, because she clearly has a problem. So when she drinks, she can't control herself. She becomes infuriated by her own self, by made up things in her mind. And she just didn't receive any punishment. So that weekend she graduated, she was on the line, she was at the same base as me, and I saw her a couple of times at my base, and I graduated May 8th. As soon as, I think my old roommate, she's just like, oh, Mainline opened their applications. I applied, like, with no hesitation. It had been a week since we graduated. I don't even think I gave Envoy like the actual chance, even though I still worked for them up until I went to Mainline training. I knew at that moment that this airline wasn't for me, because if I wasn't defended in a situation like that, then I would not be defended in any situation. If my own like coworker, you know, came at me and I wasn't even a thought like, hey, she didn't do absolutely anything wrong and she was attacked verbally, we should probably do something about it. Like, if that thought didn't cross their mind, I know if anything would have happened with a passenger, I probably just would have been out the door. So from that point, I graduated, I was happy. I still recommend Envoy to you guys, because that complete training management team is gone. This is coffee, it ain't tea, but it's hot. Anyway, yeah, so they're all gone. And that's why I still, when you guys ask me about like how my experience was with regional, it was overall a great experience. When I was on the line, my manager in New York, she was amazing. I actually think she's still the manager there in LaGuardia. She was great. The supporting staff there was great. Everything was great once I left the training facility. But had I based my entire opinion of Envoy just strictly off of training, I would not have stayed. Like, I would have left. And I'm happy I stuck it out. I'm happy I stayed, because there was a lot going on with that training facility at the time that didn't need to be going on. I don't know specifics, but I know that a lot of one of my actually favorite instructors, who was my personal instructor in Envoy training, he actually now works for Mainline after some things went down as well. So it's like, you know, if you lose your best people, come on now, there has to be something going on in like your own department. So that's like what I really wanted to tell you guys. For the longest, I never knew the right time to tell you guys, because I don't want it to seem like I'm talking bad about Envoy, because I'm really not. They're a great company. They just had a few bad eggs, and I'm sure they still do, just like every other company. But that's what really drove me to apply to Mainline and leave and things like that. I had no idea the pay difference was so huge. I didn't know anything until I actually went to the interview for Mainline, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually happy I did this, because I need to be over here. So I always tell you guys the main reason I left Envoy was for pay, but that story is also like a huge reason of why I left, because if I don't feel my company will have my back, especially when I didn't do anything wrong, I don't want to be a part of it. That is story time. I hope I did that right. I have never done one of these, and this will actually be the start to March Madness. I see you guys are already answering to the poll, so I'm like, okay, let me get a jump start on this. I need to practice. So thank you guys for listening to my story time. I will be back actually tomorrow with another video because I'm gonna be vlogging every day. Woo, child, the editing, Lord, this is gonna be a lot. All right, guys, well, see you tomorrow.